Okay, I'm gonna crank out these videos. So there are two reviews with this, and I did watch this is episode no, yeah, season 3, episode 2 of Belle Collective. And I also did watch the interview with is it Lateisha with Carlos King. Okay. So we start with Latrice, that we're still at the M bar, and how her husband comes and didn't tell him that she was going. Her justification for him being there is that she didn't tell him that she was going out. I'm sorry. All that has to be with is with the text message. Like the fact that you just gonna show up and then go off on me like that because that's the excuse. Let me. And I know that we're supposed to say allegedly, but it's hard for me to say allegedly to anything when I'm watching him being abusive. This is abusive. Okay. Latrice is clearly still dealing with her childhood, and she thinks that this is what a relationship is supposed to be like. It's not. This is beyond being protective. This is abusive. He stays at the bar and watches her the entire time. He watches her, then he sits next to her so he can hear the conversation with some people that he don't even know, so that he can hear what she's talking about with her friends. That's ridiculous. Okay, so JJ finds out that she was married, his daughter was married on social media and pregnant. That's a bit much. So um I hate it when he's like, he gets in the confessionals about how his ex is gonna always love him because he did her right, and and everything else. I'm like, no, there may be love there because you are the father to her children, but I mean she's in love with you. I mean, aren't you just pompous? Anyway, Tambra is at the homecoming at Jackson that she's doing this tailgate. Only person who came is so Gucci. Word on the curb on the Twitter streets is that her dude, um, Demand, was at the tailgate, but was not with her. One, so Gucci was like, "Who is this dude that she keeps bringing around? It's supposed to be her manager." Okay, so we're not keeping it 100, pretty much. Um, and this becomes a whole nother debate on, she claims that she invited all the girls, but she didn't call any other girls to invite. I laughed. Patrice and Letitia's like, we didn't get a Emery. We didn't get no phone call. We didn't get no invite. So I don't know what you're talking about. And Lakeisha's like, I'm not going because I don't want to be around her. Love how Lakeisha's even behind her. She's like, I'm not going to support her. Why should I be around somebody I don't want to be around with? A liar. Okay, keep it. Cliff, JJ, and Glenn. How about I laughed that they captioned this conversation because we have no idea what Cliff was talking about. We barely have an idea about what JJ is saying. And half of the time, JJ's saying that, oh, JJ, whew, he's comedy relief, but it's hard to understand what he's saying. Okay, so he's talking about how Latrice did so Gucci wrong. And so Cliff is like, this is business, it ain't friendship. And JJ brings deer jerky because Cliff let him use the land when they went hunting and caught the deer on his property. Okay. Um, I'm not eating deer jerky. So we have JJ things. Okay, yeah. They all laughing. because Cliff used to sleep around with JJ's wife. And Cliff's like, well, she only said that she got married to you because she was pregnant. And the fact that they can all laugh about this is just strange to me, but okay. Um, they talk about what's going on with Glenn. Glenn's like, look, she's looking for a condo. They're like, that ain't good. These men really don't give each other good advice. It is the strangest group of men. Anywho, Latrice and Josh. Yeah, Latrice comes in and talks to Josh. She's going to defend her husband, which she feels she's justified. And Josh is really concerned about, if we beefing like this, what's going to happen when it comes to the business? And I think, or, do I need to start looking for other possibilities? She's like, no, you don't need to do that. But I'm really trying to feel like we should figure, I want you guys to kind of be here because I don't want to leave this relationship and in different things like that. I don't know how this is going to work, but I do know that Josh needs to move out. So Gucci has his boot camp. Tamara, JJ, Marie, and Lateisha are there, and they're talking about Latricia. Latricia eventually does come late, and I love how, and Tamara, they talk about Tamara closing with, and Tamara was there listening to this conversation about how Latricia closed with another agent. Lateisha brings yoga here, and she's just like, so we gonna do yoga, and she's like, no, we're doing a boot camp. She's like, well, boot camp for what? Funny. Um, like I said, Latrice and Josh come late. Um, Latrice says when Marie finally gets there, because Marie is like 5 minutes, and it's going to be 5 minutes and then it's over. Latrice makes a comment like, how is it that Marie, who shows up this late, gets a greeting and I don't? That's a very good point. And Latrice is like, the BBL is BBLing. Latrice has some really good, nice little reads, even though it's just so inappropriate. Anyway, Marie is like, Latrice is a snake. And it's interesting that Marie was talking to Tamara, especially about this not coming to this no invite. And then as soon as Latrice comes up, she's like, yeah, I'm going to dead this conversation. We could talk about it another time. It's like she's too much of a snake having her lingering over in the conversation. Anywho, Tamara, this poor girl and her lying. She's like, I did invite everybody. And she just expected so Gucci to tell everybody about the invitation. Girl, it's not her event. It's your event. That made no sense. The baby shower comes along. And you had a couple people that people were pretty surprised to see. Selena was a supporter of Latrice's business, which is why Latrice shows up with her husband. And Selena was familiar with Tambra because they were on a TV show together. And so she shows up. And so then production does ask about what happened at the M bar. And Latrice is like, yeah, I'm not talking about it. Okay, so Latrice and Soguchi go talk outside, and she makes a little comment like, look, it's a you problem that, he loves his ex-wife and he don't love you, as much as he's still in love with being his ex-wife. I don't see why that was necessary. Letitia's interview with Carlos King doesn't really add much to what is going on. However, me, like everybody else, thinks that this situation with Glenn is a bit much, and we think it's fugazi. And I agree. I don't think this is accurate. I think that they are playing this up for show. But she claims that she isn't. And so we're supposed to believe this. And she doesn't confirm that she really did move into a condo, but she feels that Glenn does follow her around, and that she kind of gives a better context about how she was more of a housewife and now she's not. And so that is a hard adjustment for Glenn to deal with. And she gets into very huge details about the kind of women that have been sliding into Glenn's DMs, including some of the people who are in the background on these shows. So some of these men, some of these women who were attending her events on like last season were sliding into his DM. Some of them were willing to sign an NDA. So I mean that is a bit much, but if he hasn't responded to where he's hooking up with them, I don't see why we are so upset. Now, could he can shut off his DMs, and if that's something you want to do, or he can get off of social media. I just don't see how this is a Glenn's fault for these women being in his DMs. Like, what is he supposed to do? Especially when you're on a national syndicated television show telling pretty much being like, I don't want to be with you. Like, I mean, you're kind of saying there's multiple spaces that I don't think we should be together. So I think in pushing him away, which I'm not saying that this is your fault. I'm just saying that this is what your storyline is. So of course women are even more so going to be like, well, since she don't want you, I want you. I mean, he's a handsome looking guy. He dresses nicely. He carries himself pretty well. He has some funny moments. He's definitely more articulate than Cliff and JJ. So, I mean, I can see why people would be in his DMs. But I do think that the way that you're coming off doesn't help. So, with that being said, I have nothing else to give on this. Have a great rest of your day. And I have two more reviews. I'm gonna get them done today too. Watch. Bye.